Hi, my name is Joe Krein. Is this Mr. Enoch?
Yes.
I'm a friend of Charles Stone.
Yes, sir.
Hi, do you have a few minutes to talk to me, sir?
Yes, sir, I do. Thank you.
I had a hard time getting a hold of you. You gave me the wrong number at first, and
Yes, sir.
okay, I'll get right to it. I'm sure you're going to be busy today. When did you first start in the music business, sir?
I've been doing this singing gospel music ever since about 1967, and joined the Stamps Quartet in 1969 for a stint from 69 to through Elvis's life. We started with him in 1971 through 77, and then the Stamps disbanded, or Mr. Sumner disbanded the Stamps at the end of 1980. And I came back to the Stamps Quartet. He started them back in 1990, and I came back in 90 through his death. He passed away in November of 1998. So that's my extent. Then, of course, I've started my own Stamps Quartets in 1999. I mean, I've started my quartet up, and I've been going since 1999. So I've been in gospel music all these years, sir.
How was it working with J.D. Sumner?
He's a good man.
Yeah, he was very, very talented. I've always been a fan of his. I just found a beautiful album with him on it with the Blackwood Brothers, and he looked so young. He looked so good.
Yes, sir. He was great. He was a wonderful bass singer.
Yeah, and he seemed dearly to love Elvis, and
yes, he certainly did.
Yeah, how was it to work with Elvis?
Well, it was a wonderful opportunity. You know, of course, anybody would say that. It was an opportunity to work with. It's that you knew, anybody knew that he was the kingpin of the music industry, and of course, there was nothing like Elvis in the music industry. Whatever type of field you went to, Elvis covered it, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, he was wonderful to work with because of his. He was so kind and generous and.
I was going to ask you, was he a good man? I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, no, he was nice." Was he a good man?
Yeah, he was a good man and a wonderful guy. I don't know anything bad about him.
Yeah.
I know it would sell if I did, but I don't know nothing bad. And I don't have any reason to say yay or nay. I mean, you're asking me a question. I'm trying to give you an honest answer. He was just a great individual, a very common man, very common, very down to earth, and had a voice and a talent, as you know, untouched by anyone today or ever, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think you'll ever see another person with that kind of karma and talent.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
It must have been. Was it hard for you on the road? I mean, that must be hard on anybody. I mean, I'm handicapped and I'm in a wheelchair, and I could just imagine being on the road. I mean, he did so many concerts. Was it hard on you and hard on Elvis? And
well, I'm sure that it was. Of course, I was very young back then, and I think I was about 27, 28, maybe. I'm not sure, but young enough to. Just, you know, I was tired, and I knew Elvis was about 11 years older than me, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, I know it was hard on him. It had to take a lot of his energy and a lot of his strength, but he loved it. I've never seen anybody love to sing the way he sung.
Yeah, it kept him going. Yeah.
Oh, he loved it. He adored it. He said he would rather work and sing and travel than to do anything in the world. And you know, and I don't know. I have to take him at his word. You know, but he sure did show it from on stage. You know, he showed his love. I mean, anybody could see it, the love for the music. So.
Yeah, I never had a chance to see him in concert. I was 16 years old when he passed away. How did you find out that Elvis had passed away, sir?
From the news. The morning that we were at the airport, at Nashville Airport, and waiting for his plane to come pick us up, and it was late, and his plane's never late. And it was over an hour and a half late, and we got a call at the airport that the tour was canceled due to an act of God. Now, that's the only thing that we heard, and we all went home, back to our homes. We were on our way, I think, to Hampton Roads, Virginia. I can't quite remember at this moment. But anyway, we went home, and as I came in, I had the TV, the lady who was keeping my son for me at that time, and had the TV on, and it just flashed on. Elvis Presley has passed away, has died, and of course that's how I found out. Of course, after that, now we got calls from, from Graceland and all that kind of thing. It started happening.
So was it the Colonel? I mean, and Sean Nielsen. I mean, I interviewed him just a little while back, and he said the same exact story, and he said that's what came from the Colonel. I mean, why would the Colonel do, an act of God? I mean,
I don't know that. I can't answer that. I don't think he could either. Sean was with us. Sean was at the airport with us.
That's what he said.
So, that's all I know. That's what we were given. I never did question it because I knew that the family was going through so much. And I know Mr. Vernon wasn't healthy, and he had a heart condition, and no one wanted to put in undue stress upon him.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew.
Yeah. Did you go to the funeral, sir?
Yes, sir. We sang at the funeral.
Oh, that's I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
I'm kind of nervous just talking to you. You tried to get questions, and I don't want to keep you long. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, no, you did sing, and Kathy Westmoreland sang there too. That must have been a very hard day on you.
It certainly was. It was. Joe Gershow was there. He directed us as like he would. We was on stage, and he had a lot of his friends there that sang that day. But one of the greatest things about this whole thing is that he loved gospel so very much, and gospel set him off. It was a music that had his ears could have heard them. It was the last thing he heard, and I think probably I guess in my mind there was something about Elvis that none of us will ever know. I think there was something inside him, and his love for music, and his love, I'm going to say his love for gospel music on the one side of it, that if you knew him and all the years that I've known him, and many times I've sung for him, that we sang for him. We're nobodies. We would sing for him for hours upon hours. I thought how ironic that the last thing would be done would be those gospel songs being sung before he was placed away, and I thought that was sort of a good thing for him, kind of a nice thing for his private side. That was his private side of him.
And that's what he loved. It's funny because there's something about an Elvis song when he's singing gospel. It's just something about it. I've been down many days, and because of my physical problems, and I'll put on an Elvis gospel record, or I'll put on something from JD, and it really kind of just lifts you up. And I think gospel did that to Elvis because it seemed like at the end of his life, it seemed like he was searching for something.
Well, I don't know about that. All I know is that between you and I, to be perfectly honest, I don't know about that searching part. I just do not know. But I do know the love for gospel seemed to be all that he wanted to hear for the last 3 years of his life, for sure. I can't tell you how many concerts we did for him, how many hours we sang for him, how many, we averaged 14 days a month touring with him the last 3 years of his life. And I would say out of every 14-day tour, there might have been 2 or 3 nights that we didn't sing after the show for hours and hours, but I would say, I'd be perfectly clear to say we probably sung 10 nights.
Wow.
Maybe to daylight.
Wow. He couldn't get enough of it. He couldn't get enough of the gospel of the word.
So I think that was just something to really be exceptional, very exceptional for him. So.
And every once in a while, he would have either you and or Kathy Westmoreland sing something on stage. I've never heard a tape of it. I'm surprised, you never hear that. Do you think it would have ever worked if Elvis had done a complete gospel concert? Or do you don't think it would have worked?
Oh, yeah, I think it would have been wonderful.
I think so, too.
I think it would have packed people in from all over the world to have heard that, and I think that he actually was planning on doing that.
Wow.
It was in the works. the plans were he had a plan to do, I think, a 5-day gospel tour, nothing but a 5-day gospel tour. But I'm not sure. I wasn't there in the meetings, and
that would have been great.
I'm not going to tell you anything, but that I really knew.
Yeah, but I wonder if the Colonel would have given him a hard time on that.
I don't know. I don't.
I think it would have worked.
Oh, it would have worked. I mean, it would have worked once, I think. But I don't know. I mean, I knew it was discussed. Now, I know that it was discussed. But other than that, I'd have to leave it right there.
Right.
I don't know.
Right, but you don't know if anybody nixed it, if anybody supported it or was against it, or because you think of the Colonel who was against the '68 comeback and he wanted it to be more of a Christmas special.
Yeah.
So I think it would have worked. I think it would have been wonderful.
Yeah, I think it would have worked. I don't know what the Colonel thought about it.
Right.
I have no earthly idea. I don't. Whether or not it was even run by the Colonel, I don't know. I know it was talked with Elvis, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
What a wonderful thing that could have been.
Yeah, it'd been great.
Yeah. Did you get along with the Colonel all right, sir?
Yeah, well, I never did have any qualms with him. I never was around him. I was around Elvis all the time. So I mean, I'd see the Colonel passing. That was all.
You were a TCB member?
Oh, yeah.
When did you get your
February 1971.
Oh, you remember the date?
Oh, yes, I do.
Wow.
You would have, too, if you'd have got one of them.
Oh, yeah. I would have loved to have just met him once, and it just wasn't supposed to be, So what are you doing now, sir? I mean, I know what you're doing now, but you got concerts that you're doing, or?
Yes, sir. We just travel in one-nighters, and we're planning to do some things with Charlie.
Right.
With he and Craig Parker, I think, at the end of this year, and I think some dates next year, but I'm not sure about all that. But I think we're talking about it. I think Charlie wants to do it. Of course, I want to do it if
sure.
possible. But
and Craig's very talented. Craig's very talented.
Yeah, he is. He's very talented.
Is it hard?
He is a good guy.
Is it hard for you to sing along with an impersonator? Well, especially if he's a bad one. And I mean, here you actually sing with Elvis, and I mean, he was a friend, and it must be hard to sing with some impersonators.
We don't sing with an awful lot. Not that we handpick them. We don't do that. I wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings. They loved Elvis, and whoever does the Elvis thing, I know they love him and they want to do it the best they can. The question you asked me, was it hard? And to answer that in a nice, gentle way, no, it's not hard. Sometimes you feel a little funny, feel a little strange or peculiar. But it's only because of the memories it brings back.
Right. It has to be hard.
There's nothing against the guys.
Yeah, especially when you do Elvis, the concert, and Elvis is up on that screen.
Yeah.
I saw that concert one time, and I was thinking about every one to be on stage, like, how hard that must be.
Yeah, that's something there now.
Yeah.
That takes it out of you right there.
Yeah. Sir, I appreciate you talking to me today. I'm not going to keep you any longer.
Sir, it's an honor to talk to you, sir. I thank you for. Hope I've said something that would be all right for you, and I try to tell you the truth the best of my ability.
All right. I appreciate it, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.